Welcome back to the reading of the Mahabharata by Kamala Subramaniam, Chapter 2, 16 years later. 16 years have gone by. There are crushed hearts that will not break, and the king's plight was such. His life was now empty. Life had lost all meaning. But that didn't in any way affect his rule. He was an ideal king. The people were happy under his rule. His only pleasure, as of yore, was hunting. He would always be haunting the banks of the river Ganga. That was the one spot which gave him comfort. One day, as he was wandering along the banks of the river, a strange sight met his eyes. The river was not flowing. It looked as though something held up the river. Full of curiosity, he walked along the banks to see what was happening. He saw a network of arrows. The arrows had been so well knit that not a drop of water could pass through. Santanu stood rooted to the spot, amazed at the sudden check imposed on the river. He realized that he was not alone. Ganga, his beloved Ganga, was standing beside him with a serene, sweet smile. The king was overwhelmed. He looked at her with eyes full of tears. He said, "Ganga, so you have taken pity on me all of these years. I have been so lonely, so lonely. I want you. I cannot live without you. Please, come back to me. You have forgiven me, I know. Or else you would not have come now. Come, let us hasten to the city. Make us happy." Ganga looked at him with pity in her eyes, and she said, "My lord, all that is in the past. I will not come back. When the sun has set on a day, it is foolish to ask him to come back so that you can live the day once again. The sun will come back, but only to usher in another day. No one can go back, not even for a moment, but that is all beside the point. Let me tell you why I have come. Do you see the river being held up?" "Yes," said the king. "That was the sight which held me spellbound when you came. Tell me, Ganga, who is it? Who is holding you in check? You, whom all the wealth of my love could not hold back." Even as they were talking, there was a sudden deafening noise. It was the roar of the river, whose course had become unchecked now. From the distance, there rushed up to them a boy, a beautiful youth whose noble face was shining with great excitement. He hugged Ganga with his arms and said, "Mother, mother, I held up the river. Again, I was able to do it." Ganga looked at the king. He was a picture of amazement. "Your son," he said. "Then surely he must be." "Yes, my lord," said Ganga. "Your guess is right. He is our son." She turned to the young man and said, "Devavrata, this is your father. Salute him." Shantanu lifted up the prostrate form of his son and embraced him. Ganga said, "This is the reason for my coming. I have brought your son to you. Take him with you to comfort you. He is well versed in all the arts that a Kshatriya should know. Vasishta has been his guru. From him, he has learnt the Vedas and the Vedangas. From Brihaspati, the divine guru, he has learned political science. And at my request, Bhargava, the enemy of Kshatriyas, has taught him archery. My son, or our son, is now proficient in all arts. I have fitted him to be a worthy heir to the throne of the Pauravas. I give this hero to you. Take him to the home of heroes." Saying that, Ganga vanished. The king turned homewards, even as he did 16 years ago, but today he was not alone. His son, this son, born of Ganga, was there beside him. Shantanu was proud of this handsome young man who stood fair to be the only obsession of the king who had been lonely for so long. Together, father and son galloped towards Hastinapura. With that, we end another story and a reading of the Mahabharata by Kamala Subramanian, read to you by yours faithfully. This is me, Rajesh, signing off with another episode of Storytime with Rajesh. Stay tuned for the next episode of the Mahabharata. Till then, bye now.